We are live from Crusaders headquarters. I am King Nico, and if you are watching and listening to this stream, you are the resistance. We are at war amongst the truth community, in particular right now, flat earth community. The civil war is in full effect. People are picking sides, and it seems that the biblical Christians are rising up against the shills, against the operatives, against the controlled oppositions, the puppets. We are going up against them because they are trying to destroy biblical truth. They are trying to destroy the belief system in flat earth and the firmament, and they are trying to restore it back to the globe or extra land, some kind of nonsense. And this was all spoken about by RV, the 10-year plan, and it is now all coming and into fruition. So we need to expose the shills. We need to expose all the people involved and how they are anti-Jesus. So we got a video. It took me the last hour to try and find it because it was in Flatzoids. 3-hour live with Austin Whitsitt. So good evening to Flat Earth Warriors. Says, what's up, Nico and all. So quickly, I'm going to play this. So we're going to start compiling the enemies. And here they are. So first of all, Austin Whitsitt is going to be denying Jesus Christ.
See? And this is what flats are doing.
Vaping. You denied vaping, and that's
okay,
why I
bet $5,000.
Okay, I found a vape, and then I vaped because you said you denied vaping. What's it?
What? You see what he does, and you think that this is going to go unpunished by a creator? That's what you think? That's what you think, bro?
You don't even pray to the creator, dude. You don't pray to
Don't pray to the creator.
You pray to Jesus.
No, I pray in the name of Yeshua. Hey.
Whoa. So Flatzoid immediately asked him. He caught Austin off guard while he's all hysterical there, trying to defend Vapegate. Flatzoid says, do you pray to Jesus? There was a moment of silence as he had to think about it. And then he says, no, I pray to... We're going to play it right back quickly. And then we're going to bring on Dustin Nemos because he is here in the house.
Vape, and then I vaped because you said you denied vaping. What's it?
What? You see what he does, and you think that this is going to go unpunished by a creator? That's what you think? That's what you think, bro?
You don't even pray to the creator, dude. You
don't pray to the creator.
You pray to Jesus.
No, I pray in the name of Yeshua. Hey.
Wow. Thank you for that, Flatzoid, for catching Austin right there. Let me just change the audio settings before I bring Mr. Nemos on. Welcome to the Crusaders headquarters, brother. It's good to finally meet you and speak with you. How's everything going?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Perfect. Thank you, Nikos. I'm doing okay. It's been a rough week. My dog died, but you know what happened with all of this? They tried to hide God. I was paying attention.
Yeah, and we're catching the people. We're exposing the characters, and we just caught Austin there denying the name of Jesus Christ, right? So he was caught there, and you had the privilege of
to be fair, he's using the name, he's using the Jesus Hebrew name, basically, to be fair. So that's not a big catch, but we did catch him lying about Vapegate and all this other stuff.
Oh, for sure. That was the big nail in the coffin there. So after you debated him, what did you gather from this character that just supposedly went to Antarctica and filmed a 24-hour sun to destroy flat Earth?
Briefly, I had no bias against the 24-hour sun one way or another. It works for flat Earth. Look at the Joe Hanvey model. I'm a biblical earther myself. Yeah. I don't have any bias against Austin Whitsitt or any of these other guys. I mean, I don't like McToon, I'll be honest. I mean, we've had debates in the past, but I respected Austin and Jaron and Flat Earth Dave before I went into this. And I was praying that I would be wrong in the debate, all the way going up into the debate, hoping they would come out with something that shows me I was wrong about all this stuff. With DroneGate, they showed me some stuff, but the rest of it, no, it was all just sophistry, you know, misdirection, a lot of like attacks and personal attacks and defensiveness. And it seems like it doesn't seem in their character. So with all of that said, my experience has been one of being basically they've been defensive. They've been bullying me for trying to ask basic questions, like a lot of the kind of talk you'd get from the glober side, the left side, whatever, just being mean, calling people retarded, saying that it's stupid to look into this. I'm seeing some very obvious lies where they're denying reality, and they're also catching them in, contradicting each other. Jaron says that's the mountain. Austin said that's not the mountain in the debate. Flat Earth Dave said that's not the mountain. I can prove it is the mountain. I don't know what's going on, but we know that they're not telling the truth. Somebody's lying, and it's not me, and it's not the mountain.
And this is feeling exactly like NASA Apollo 11 again, with Andrew Collins says, oh, there was no stars, or Neil Armstrong said, oh, I saw stars, but they're like, no, we didn't see that. So again, the same thing with the mountain, with the footprints, with the Vapegate. Did he vape? Did he not? So the fact that we caught them in so many lies, and they've been so defensive, and their character has just been, you know what I mean? It's leaning more towards of they've been involved in some deceptive activity.
Yeah, and I did a post on this where I was tracking everything up until the debate. Now, after that, it has gotten to the point where there are so many things coming out from so many people, I can no longer track all of the deceptions, all the busts, especially with the new HD footage. But I'm basically seeing more vindication and more stuff to ask, more questions, not less. It doesn't seem like it's helping them any. But I did a post on this at my website, the Serapeum. It's a hidden history archive. It's titled, Every Flat Earth Model Predicts a 24-Hour Sun in Antarctica. But did they fake it? Like I said, I don't care one way or another, so I was prepared either way. Lady Blount predicted this as early as 19th century. It's not a big deal. But them trying to fake it is essentially them trying to hide God and help. Like, for example, Jaron is already a glober now. He's already saying that flat earths are a cult. And he used to be a flat earther like a week ago, 2 days ago, whatever. Exactly. So that's where we're at. And I've basically tracked a number of major deceptions that came out. We heard about Footprint Gate, Vapegate, of course. There seems to be a round studio at play. They seem to have done this inside of a circular studio, which would explain things like the sun changing shape constantly from circular to, more of an egg shaped. We see things with shadows that should not happen, too divergent, a local sun, shadows missing, local lighting at the level of the person casting, different shadows at the angle of their feet, within the space of, 5-6 feet in a circle. You get, different directions, almost opposite directions of shadows. There's different things that we've caught there. Where is the camp? That is the mountain in the background, but there's no camp. Exactly. So that doesn't make any sense. There are time anomalies where they didn't really go at the solar midnight. They're playing with the time zones to pretend like they did. There are repeating CGI assets, clouds and mountains repeating in the background. There are camera anomalies, like they wiped the geolocation footage from the cameras. There's a bunch of other like smaller unfiltered stuff I haven't even had time to properly digest, like
I'm just showing your list here with the general deception breakdown. So Footprint Gate still stands, the Drone Gate's been debunked, Vapegate stands, Round Studio stands. So quickly about the Round Studio. So with some of the footage, especially the 360s, when you use the 360, you can move around anywhere. So I quickly took a glimpse. I took the camera up, and if everyone can go look at some of the 360 footage, tell me what you see. You'll, like Dustin just said, you can see, so you'll be able to see the sky circling above. Like you don't see that when looking up. So it looks like the sky kind of circles in. So if I might bring up that video in just a bit, and show that, but definitely too many gates that are still standing that they can't talk their way out of, that they've just created more lies and buried themselves to the point that, yes, this whole experiment is now null and void.
Yeah. I also did go to them privately first, at least in the case of Jaron, Flat Earth Dave, and Austin. I had their contact privately. So I asked them, can you explain this? I'm not able to defend you. I need ammo. I don't understand this. Doesn't make sense. And I got the same kind of answers are given everybody else. Like, this is kind of dumb. Why would you even ask? And nonsense. And, I didn't really kneel next to the barrel and then stand up and vape. Well, I know that. I never said you did. I said you came out of the building and vaped and on the way. And then they kept sending me footage of the flight, like it was going to prove, like they said, we really went. Okay, I never said you didn't go. I assume that you had a real trip there in order to sell it. I don't know. Maybe someone can prove that the trip was fake too. I didn't even look into that as much. But what we know is that the footage, the so-called experiment, was fake. And they keep sending me footage of the camp or footage of the flight as though it's supposed to prove to me footage of the studio.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And all three of them are doing it. So
yeah, so some of their debunks is very childish, especially trying to debunk the studio. Like they really think that we're imagining that, oh, but we were in a plane, so the plane just magically landed into the studio. Ooh, so they think we're just thinking everything was in the studio and trying to take away from that. There could have been two separate locations, one where they really did land and then travel off somewhere else, which you can clearly see because, like you said, the camp disappears, right? It's gone.
Yeah. Well, they're the only reason to do this is it's a logical fallacy. All three of them know better. We know that they know better because all three of them debate and understand logical fallacies on a regular basis. We've seen them do it. So the only reason for them to use a big logical fallacy like this and deceive us is basically to straw man us and make something look so stupid that it's easily ridiculed and laughed at and therefore not looked at any further by their audiences. It seems to be falling, at least according to one poll that I found, about 2/3 of their audiences are buying it and 1/3 are not.
Okay.
So, and that seems to be a repeating number with mankind in terms of like dissidents and waking up and a bunch of other things. Just about 1/3 seems to get it sometimes. But anyway, 1/3 of people at least have called them out and no longer trust them, and 2/3 are trying to accept their lies and trying to guilt others, or less. They're losing, I think.
That first third is obviously the ones that have discernment and can see. Yeah. One of the other thirds is probably the ones that are having more patience and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and waiting for them to prove their case against us, but it's not going to work out. And that third is going to join the first third, and then it's going to be 2/3 against the remaining third they have, right?
And I am still in contact with them. I have sent them the same list that you guys are looking at that you just showed from my article. I said, please go through there. Please show me where we're wrong. Please help me to mark each one debunked. I would like to be wrong.
So how do you feel about the footage coming out so late, considering how we jumped all over the initial released footage and went through it? Do you think that we gave them a checklist of what to edit in post-production?
Yeah, I was holding some stuff back just in case that's what did happen. Things like parallax would be very difficult for them to fake after the fact. However, I think that they were trying to put out the fire so that people wouldn't look too hard at the new footage, and they failed to do so. And it blew up on them because now not putting out the footage in a timely manner has just looked suspicious. None of them could put it out in a timely manner with various excuses. And I essentially just think we've spotted the controlled opposition flat earth community. I see them as astronauts now.
Definitely. Everything, all the slogans they've been using. You've seen Austin Whitsitt, whether it's him or the handler that's handling him is telling them what to post. It's all very spellbound, the same language spoken, the same mistakes. So we had Mark Sargent was in the comments this morning telling us like, if this was such a big deception and so much money was invested, that there'd be no mistakes. And I'm like, we've gone through NASA. They have trillions, if not unlimited funding, and look at the mistakes they give us. They're supposedly in space and at the International Space Station, and we can see air bubbles floating around on camera. Like, come on, right?
Yeah. That was the kind of logic Austin used in the debate. He said basically something like this. I'm paraphrasing from memory, but why would I give my child, whom I love, a shirt that says flat earth if I don't believe in it, or whatever, or the TFE? I think he said some of the TFE shirts he passed out to his kids. And I'm saying it's the same thing as if a NASA person gives something that they know is fake to their children to promote it, basically, because it's what they're paid to do. Use your child as a prop, which is even more dishonest.
Yeah, play up on the emotions of the people. So
I want to point out that if we're accurate on this and we're indeed busting these guys as liars, then someone like Austin, who is basically pretending to be a man of God, who definitely knows better. We know that he knows better, and we know that he's caught, and he's still doubling down. Like, it just does not look good.
It doesn't. But the Bible does speak of this, that people will come in Jesus' name, wolves in sheep's clothing, right? So it's written, we're to be aware, we're to expose all evil, and we're to continue on to preach the gospel to them also, and to every creature on this earth.
Test the spirits. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, brother, so now Christians are rising up because definitely we feel there's been an attack on our faith, on our Bible. It's been an attack on Jesus, on everything. So they're definitely in allegiance with the New World Order and what that plan is going to bring next. So what do you feel is next for Christians? Do you have any messages for lukewarm Christians, and how do we go from there and unite and stay steadfast and firm in the word of God?
Well, starting out from kind of the topic that we're on, I think for sure a lot of people may agree with me now. I'm just going to lay this in your hands. You guys do with it what you want. Ever since I joined the flat earth community, debates and everything, day one, I was calling myself a biblical earther, because I knew that there were problems with the flat earth. I knew it was not as specific. And I knew that, they had a lot of ridicule and controlled op basically around like flat earth society and such. I already knew that that was a problem.
Yes.
So going at it as a debater in the past, before I even started debating flat earth, I knew that I could just create a better, more defendable term with biblical earth, which means flat, yes, but also young, geocentric, stationary, domed. And it's basically what the Bible describes, an enclosed cosmology. With heaven right there above. So I invite flat earthers to start using the term biblical earth. It's stronger, it's better, it wipes these guys off. It completely discredits any such idea as the lands beyond the firmament, which is just another type of outer space that Flat Earth Dave constantly pushes. I would love to debate him on this, friendly debate, because there's no evidence for it.
Oh, that would be, I would love to see that too. You're a great debater, brother. Quickly, Miss Kyra Gerber, she says to Dustin, your work is for God's kingdom. I see them as astronauts now, quote. So is a fantasy summary of where things are at. Thank you both. Thank you, Miss Kyra.
Yeah, thank you. And all glory to Yahweh. I mean, I live to serve, and I see deceptions, and I'm here to push back.
So definitely I feel this is the next phase for revelation or end times scenarios. Christians are becoming more aware of the times that we're in and the evil that surrounds us and is trying to work overtime to deceive us. So again, amazing times. Yes, TFE tried to destroy flat earth and with this extravagant hoax, but it only brought Christians together and strengthened us and made the Bible that much more powerful, right?
Yeah. The second moon landing, we saw it as it happened. We busted it. We tore it apart. Now we're laughing at it, making memes about it, and using it to wake up other people. This has been great for us.
Yeah, it's been excellent. So, and we're going to continue on. It's like you said, flat Earth may be dead, that whole terminology, but the new label is biblical Earth, right?
I think so, and I just think that it's stronger. I think it bypasses all of this drama that they push at it. And I think it pushes it right back to God, which is the whole point anyway, because the point of a flat earth isn't that it's flat. Who cares? The point of a flat earth is that God is real. We have evidence for it in every science you can imagine, from genetics to cosmology. But this one is a big and obvious one. If the world is flat and an enclosed cosmology, then we absolutely are created by a creator. Now, which God? That's important too. And I found out that only one God, the Bible, the creator, Jesus' dad, has the power not only to do things like Sodom and Gomorrah, the flood, but also to predict the future. 100% accurate prophecy. Imagine that. Yeah. I was a lifelong atheist my whole life. And then I found out about flat biblical earth, God is real, and then prophecy, which God is real. And then demons are real. The deep state are the demons. And then that's why they don't want you to know God is real.
That's what we do here. Crusaders of the Resistance is proving Bible prophecy. And everything that the Bible says has either happened, has come true, and is coming true as we live and speak right now, word for word. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. It's a scary time. Men's hearts will fail them for fear. but it's also, we're years, I believe we're in the end for sure. I think you do too, obviously. So we're years away from, meeting him, seeing it happen. All of this is playing out now around us. We are those people for that generation. I mean, it's big.
Yes, sir. It's been amazing. Do you have
Yeah.
much more time left? I know you're very busy and got other things.
I got to get ready for another thing. I wish I did. I would definitely like to come back when I, maybe schedule it out and have some time. This was kind of, last minute, but it was a pleasure meeting you, getting to know you, and sharing with your audience.
Quickly, Miss Kyra says, what is your guest name and YouTube channel, please? A perfect comment. Thank you for the $2, Kyra. So before Dustin heads off, I did have his channel posted up here on YouTube. And
barely, yeah, I'm banned on YouTube, so I just put my songs on there and a couple of videos. I hope they won't ban me again. I had 130,000 subs, but I just don't even try on YouTube anymore.
What about your Twitter X page? I got that showing up here.
Yeah, also heavily censored. Not my first one there either, but you can find everything at dustinnemos.com. I have a bunch of websites, all my websites, all my socials. I'm mostly on Rumble now, frankly.
Yep, here you are on Rumble.
And BitChute.
Rumble and BitChute under the same name, Dustin Nemos?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So it's been...
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the song?
Oh, yeah. Someone sent it to me yesterday. It was like, wow, this is funny. So I did play that.
It was fun.
I can play this. It's not copywritten or anything.
Oh, it's mine. You can have fun with it. You can use it in your show. There's a country version and there's a rap version. Whatever you want to do with it.
Okay, thank you so much. So you're gonna be heading off.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right,
I appreciate it.
We'll stay in touch, and thank you for coming on, brother.
And by the way, man, I have great respect for your courage standing up to these guys. So few people started to do so, and you were one of the first. So props to you.
You're inspiring too, brother. And quickly before you go, I'm sorry about the dog and passing away. So my prayers go out to you on that, and condolences. All right.
You had a good run. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Take care. Wow. So Dustin Nemos, unbelievable, was here. The Christians are uniting. The civil war is in full effect. We are not going to back down. We want to destroy all the deception that is coming around, trying to sway the beliefs of people. So quickly, I would like to share another Christian brother who posted a video today. Some of you might be familiar with this channel. It is Think About It. So his name is Steve. Let me just switch the audio quickly so you can hit the sound from the video, and we're going to get this going. So he posted this video 5 hours ago today. It's called, Is Flat Earth the Biggest Lie of All Time? So we're going to get into it.
Hi, Steve here. Americans have been deceived from the beginning of time by the master deceiver, and he's had thousands of years to hone his skills. Americans, but he doesn't want you to know them. Now, I want to explain why ignorance is not bliss anymore for those who claim to have a relationship with God Almighty. I understand that the programming that we've received in these last several decades from all of the devil's minions, including the government, including NASA, including the educational system, including the media, and on, has been very effective. But I'm here to tell you now, they're all lying. And if your cognitive dissonance is kicking in right now, I understand it's not all your fault. We've been programmed to believe the lies. The only reason I'm telling you this is because of comments I hear from so-called believers who don't know what the Bible says and don't know what the book of Enoch says and are simply content with believing the lies. Their comment goes something like this. It doesn't matter whether I believe the earth is a round sphere or whether it's flat. As long as I believe in Jesus Christ, I'm saved. That's all that really matters. You may feel that way now, but when the great deception happens, you may find that it did matter, and it matters a whole lot. Jesus said, for there will be imposters falsely claiming to be God's anointed one and false prophets. The literal Aramaic means prophets of lies will arise to perform miracle signs to lead astray, if possible, those God has chosen to be his. You may be thinking, I will never be fooled. Well, if you believe the earth is a sphere, a round spinning ball among thousands of other planets in a giant solar system, and it's really not any different or special than any other planet, then you will be fooled. It would be the same as me pointing out the poisonous Australian snake by your foot, and you shrug it off as not being that serious. The inland taipan in the semi-arid region of Central East Australia is the world's most venomous snake. But if you didn't believe it, that snake could kill you. Believing the devil's lies are even more deadly. In chapter 80, verse 2 of the book of Enoch, he said, "And in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened." Jesus said the same thing in Matthew 24, that he will shorten that time of trouble. But it's verse 7 of chapter 80 in the book of Enoch that confirms a deception coming upon this earth that will even deceive some people who call themselves believers now. Enoch wrote, "And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways. Yes, they shall err and take them to be gods." We're already seeing all kinds of UFO activity in the news more and more. We've been programmed by Hollywood movies for decades that there's life on other planets, and someday maybe they'll come back to see how this lowly, ignorant civilization is doing. Well, they will show up, but not from light years away. They will show up from the heavenlies above us, but below the dome of God Almighty. They are the fallen angels. The Apostle Paul told us in his letter to the Ephesians, "Your hand-to-hand combat is not with human beings, but with the highest principalities and authorities operating in rebellion under the heavenly realms," or literally under heaven. For they are a powerful class of demon gods. The Greek word used here refers to conjuring up pagan deities, supreme powers of darkness mentioned in occult rituals, and evil spirits that hold the possessors of this dark world, that is, this dark world in bondage. Now let's go into the Bible and look at 13 verses that also prove the earth is flat. If you can't handle the truth, you better jump ship now.
Much
and
love,
not even
Brother
listen to the
Sanchez.
truth anymore. Because I'm going to give you the scriptures that explain that where you and I live is a circular, flat earth with the dome of heaven over us. And in spite of all the programming we've received ever since we were children, this is the reality. I'll try and go through these quickly, but I want you to listen, and I want you to open your mind to the truth of God's word. I'm using the King James Version and the Complete Jewish Bible Version so you can compare. The very first book, the very first chapter, and the very first part tells us that the earth was not a sphere. It was actually unformed. Verse 6 said that God said, "Let there be a dome in the middle of the water. Let it divide the water from the water God made, the dome, and divided the water under the dome from the water above the dome. That is how it was, and God called the dome sky." I could stop right here, but we have 12 more scriptures. Isaiah chapter 11, "From the four corners of the earth." You can get four corners from a circle, but you can't get four corners from a sphere. Isaiah 40, "He who sits above the circle of the earth, for whom its inhabitants appear like grasshoppers, stretches out the heavens like a curtain, spreads them out like a tent to live in." Isaiah 44, "Who stretched out the heavens all alone, who spread out the earth all by himself." Job 22, "Isn't God in the heights of heaven, looking down even on the highest stars?"
Wow. So Steve here is going all out. Christians are rising up like never before. This has nothing to do with TFE, but it has everything to do with Flat Earth. And he has been kind enough to put together this video. You can see here all the complete Jewish Bible verse along with the King James Bible verses. And yes, we have Brother Sanchez here from Brother Sanchez TV. So it's good to see you, brother. Thank you for chiming in and watching and giving us the support. Appreciate it coming from you. So God bless you. Oh, it's been amazing. So let's get back to Steve, and you can see the verses here.
Job 26, he stretches the north over chaos and suspends the earth on nothing. He binds up the water in his thick clouds, yet no cloud is torn apart. By it, he shuts off the view of his throne by spreading his cloud across it. He fixed a circle on the surface of the water, defining the boundary between light and dark. Job 37, he sends it out under all of heaven, his lightning to the ends of the earth. Psalm 103 says he has removed our sins from us as far as the east is from the west. Psalm 104, you fixed the earth on its foundations, never to be moved. Foundations. Proverbs 8:27, when he drew the horizon's circle on the deep. Ecclesiastes, the sun rises, the sun sets, then it speeds to its place and rises there. The wind blows south, then it turns north. The wind blows all around and keeps returning to its rounds. The book of Enoch explains how all of these things work in nature. Matthew wrote, the adversary took him up to the summit of a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in all their glory. And finally, the last book of the Bible, Revelation. After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth. I don't care how hard you try to explain away 4 corners on a sphere, or what kind of Common Core math you try to use. This earth is not a sphere. Now, if you're a believer and still believe the lie that the earth is spinning around the sun and what NASA tells you are the facts, then I can't help you anymore. Science is nothing more than trying to label what God has already created. Scientists will never be able to answer all your questions. Now, I want to end this video by saying anyone who doesn't want to receive this truth, please don't waste your time sending me an email trying to change my mind, because
Thank you, Steve. I thought that was an incredible video. So quickly, I want to introduce Brother Sanchez. Welcome, brother. Thank you for coming in. So, Brother Sanchez, you're live, Crusaders of the Resistance headquarters. So he's not, so he's busy at the second, but he's here. Yep, that's a real one, Brother Sanchez. Someone says muted. I don't think he's speaking. I can hear him in the background. He probably just stepped away for a second. So we'll give him a second. Good evening, all. Says Canada is a corpse. Let me just bring up the chats on the screen that again quickly. Well, quickly, seeing as we're at the Civil War here, I want to bring up this video. So this video instantly reminded me of why I had to unsubscribe from Monsieur Eric Dubé. So people are saying Eric Dubé is a real one and should be trusted. And this is why I unsubbed from him 5 years ago, because he posted a video called Jesus Christ Never Existed. So here's part of the video here, and this is how and what Dubé and the rest of the anti-Jesus flat earthers think of Christianity. So the belief that some cosmic Jewish zombie can make you live forever if you symbolically eat his flesh and telepathically tell him that you accept him as your master. So he can remove an evil force from your soul that is present in humanity because a rib woman was convinced by a talking snake to eat from him. So that was complete blasphemy from Eric Dubé right there. So this is why we have a distrust in this person, Eric. And Brother Sanchez, good evening.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well. There's no echo. Everything is good over here.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have me on. I want to say that the final experiment is how I found your channel. Also, the final experiment is how I refound my relationship back with the scriptures, because it's just a lot of stuff that I saw that let me realize. And see, King Nico, I don't want to take over your show.
Oh, please speak, brother. Take as much time as you would like.
I'm from Alabama. I'm from the Bible Belt. So I grew up in the church. And that was my problem. When I started to question everything around me, I left the church, turned my back on the Bible. And what I realized is that it wasn't the Bible, it was these false pastors like Duffy, because the Bible has the truth in it, but my pastor wasn't teaching the truth. He was teaching his church doctrine. And I realized most of the people ain't following the Bible in the world, they're following church doctrine.
Yes.
And so, you know, I thought the Bible was full of crap for a long time, and I realized that the people that's using this Bible is full of crap. So I said all that to say that me saying that NASA has the symbol of Satan, the serpent on their logo, me saying that Elon Musk has the serpent on his Neuralink logo, me knowing that when we go to space, it's going to be with brain computer interfaces and not rockets. And that's how we're going to go to space. They already talked about this. They saying that before humans can go to space physically, we need to run all of these schools and simulations. I've watched all of these videos. I've been on tech sites. They're saying that we need a new generation of astronauts that can study space and explore space without actually being up there. So before we go to space, we got to get chipped up Neuralink. Yeah. So there's a plan here now. And this is why I know that NASA is satanic and that Nico, you the man, yo. I'm going to tell you why I know that you the man, bro. Because in early Christianity, we talking about way back in the day during when the Gnostics was writing the Bible, before the papacy revised it and tampered with it and all that. Everybody taught that in order for you to leave the earth, you got to become a better person. That in order for a mortal man to ascend up off of the earth and to leave the earth, you got to actually have the earth leave you. Your worldly ways have to be out of you for you to leave the world. The world got to leave you. That's why Jesus was able to ascend. That's why Enoch was able to ascend. Self-mastery. Even in the Quran, Islam stands for I am self-law and master. The reason we didn't have prisons and governments back in the day, Nico, is because we had temples and churches teaching us how to govern ourselves. We didn't need authorities over us. And the reason I'm bringing up NASA is because the old law was, if you want to get off the earth, you got to be a good person. What NASA represent is they're telling everyone you can leave the earth with the right technology, with the right space program and technology. Humans can leave the earth. That is in direct opposition of what all of these spiritual systems was based on. No matter if you're talking about Hindu, early Christianity, all of them taught that if you don't master yourself, you stuck here. But what NASA is teaching is humans can leave the earth with science, with technology. Wow. And that's what the early church was teaching. You got Christians and you got church members. And church members don't follow the ways of Christ. They follow church doctrines. I know because I was raised in the church. I thought I was a Christian. I was a church member. A lot of people thinking they're Christians, Nico. They need to check again and double check. You see, but I just had to come up here and vent because I see that, you know, you on the side of truth. You're a real one. And it's a lot of people now don't know who to trust after all of this. So I think all ain't lost. I think it's just going to unite all of the real ones and separate the fake ones. And then it's going to, what I like about this is if you ain't really serious about flat earth, or if you ain't really brave, then you're not going to move forward with us at this time with all of what's going on. And I don't mind the, scrutiny or the backlash from the final experiment, but I'm gonna just chill right there. I'm gonna let you respond. I also wanted to try to set up some shows with you in the future and stuff, because I'm gonna be reaching out to a lot of flat earthers, after all of this.
Wow. So thank you for everything, your kind words. It's been amazing. I'd love to definitely do some shows with you in the future. And definitely everything you said, I agree with. the flat earth is very important, and people are starting to realize that now because of the next things that are coming that we're needed to help. So if people can't get to grips with the realm that we live in and the firmament, then it's going to be near to impossible to help them see the light and see the truth and help them choose Jesus instead of choosing NASA, thinking that they can escape this world by just getting on a rocket or believing that, when everyone knows no one can leave this place, not even NASA. So just the fact that they have that science and that belief system just takes everyone away from the Christ, Jesus. So, and Jesus is the only way to the Father. So very dangerous times.
And I'll leave and let you get to your show, and I'll just end with this. The early church, you know, the Caesars and all of them, the people that crucified Christ, they worship Greek gods like Mercury, you know, Artemis, basically all of the Greek gods that NASA names their flights after. They name them after all. See, people think they're following Christ, but they follow in the church and the papacy and those ancient Greek gods.
Yeah.
And the story that was told about all of those Greek gods that made people revere them was that they traveled the heavens. That's why the 7 wandering stars are named after each of the Greek gods, Venus, Mercury, all of that. But the same story they taught about the Greek gods traveling the heavens is the same story they teach us about astronauts traveling into space. And it makes them people of worship, because humans back then wanted to know how to get off the earth. And the early church, as they satanic as they are, they want to trap souls here. And they was telling people to believe in these Greek gods who had already been to the heavens and stuff. So Christ was telling us we are gods, and that by following his ways, we can ascend to the heavens just like he did. So we didn't, you know what I'm saying? So my only thing is that it's still a religion. When you look at what they're doing today, they're saying, hey, we have men that left the earth. And they got to say that to defile the Bible, because the Bible says in the original interpretation of the Bible, can't nobody leave this earth and go up there to heaven unless their soul is right, unless you right with God. And by them just saying they leaving the earth and they up there in the heavens, it's just so blasphemous. It was deeper than the shape of the earth. It was what you got to do to get off of the earth. And that's why NASA hate flat earthers so much, because we're talking about the firmament dome, the heavens, how to get out of here. And they got a whole program to fool us like there is no way out. It's just space out there. We've already been up there and then the sea. So we're definitely stepping on their toes, but they're in direct opposition to what the Bible is teaching. That's what made me realize that I may want to blow the dust off my Bible and get back, start, you know, this is deeper than a war against flat earth. This is a war against biblical cosmology.
Yeah, which is all truth. Going back to what you said earlier, you said how there was no prisons and institutions back then because everyone governed themselves in the church, which is why the church was infiltrated by the Brotherhood, by the Templars, the Jesuits, the Masons, right? So then they associated the holy word of God and Jesus with those infiltrated entities, and then started cherry picking and just preaching for however long, centuries now, just cherry picking the Bible, keeping Christians lukewarm. So it's on us to pick up that Bible and read it for ourselves and live it for ourselves, than have these deceivers pick and choose what they want to and just give you bits, right? And then still ask for money in the church. So very much so, the church has been long infiltrated. A lot of these pastors, I'm sad to say, have been paid off by government, right? Most likely are Masons.
Mm-hmm. And I swear this the last thing. This dropped in my heart for all Christians. Follow King Nico, number one. Number two is that, you know, this whole thing about the final experiment shouldn't make us discouraged, depressed, none of that. You know, I was feeling bad about this because I felt like Jaron was like Judas Iscariot. You know, he's like this big traitor. But at the end of the day, I really believe, King Nico, that we're gonna get stronger after this because we literally got serious people now that's really serious about the truth. So that's where I stand. And yeah, don't be a church member, be Christ-like. So I'll leave with that. Thank you so much for having me, Nico.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. It's great to see you. Been watching a lot of your stuff. So I have your channel up here, this Brother Sanchez TV. If everyone can go give a sub too. So I appreciate
Thank you.
everything you said about us. And right now, the strength in Christians is needed more than ever, because what is about to happen on this earth is going to be like never before. It's going to be like the Great Flood Part 2. It's just going to be Sodom and Gomorrah Part 2. It's all happening at once, and we're needed. So that's why us Christians, I'm seeing everyone rising up, and it's just amazing how we're all just coming together and knowing that something needs to get done. So I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much.
All right, so take care. Wow, so Brother Sanchez just came on, gave us pretty much everything, what he's feeling and seeing. And yes, it's true that there is some deep deception going on. The Bible and Jesus Christ are definitely under attack, and people are realizing it now, right? So let me just get the chat up on the screen quickly. Unbelievable stuff going on these times. So true Christian, that's what I wanted to get to next. So we're exposing these sodomites in the movement. We're not here to spread hate, right? We're just exposing them. I'm not saying to go attack Jaren, go and attack Austin or Dave or Dubay, right? Just let them know, oh, we just need to know who they are, right? And then people can decide for themselves. So True Christian's been exposing these guys for a while. This video right here, if True Christian's still in the chat, you're welcome to come on. I'm not going to play this one again because this one's disgusting. 100% proof, Jaren Campanella. So he said some stuff about Jesus Christ in that video. So the latest one is, let's just play what he's got here on Dave McKeegan.
He exits the hut, then clearly holding what appears to be a vape pen to his mouth for quite a while as he's walking back, then putting something in his pocket and then blowing thick fog from his mouth before getting back to the computer, which to me personally seems to fit the argument of him vaping. People who are genuine.
So Dave McKeegan is describing this new HD version of Vapegate, which Flatzoid here has posted as Witsit's final blow.
Which right there should show you I'm obviously not hitting a vape or doing anything to fake my breath and trick you, or I wouldn't be surprised and then try to do it a couple more times and then not be able to do it. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, what the video that went around claiming to have proved this was just blatantly a lie and deceptively edited. And it claims like, hey, look, you can see him crouching behind this trash can hitting a vape, and here he stands up, and you can see that this is where he fakes his breath. And then it just puts the clip from my scene where you do see my breath, and I'm like, oh, look. Now what actually happened was I went and walked into the building, I got a drink of water, right? And then I came back out. And if you are drinking liquids and or warm up when you're in Antarctica, that's when you will see your breath. I got a drink of water, right? And then I came back out. And if you are drinking liquids and or warm up when you're in Antarctica, that's when you will see your breath. Breath, it sucks, it hurts your lungs. Okay.
Genuinely seeking the truth should look at this whole Vapegate thing and think, yes, it seems Austin vaped.
In this video, we are going to see Dave McKeegan. 1. Completely ignore the indisputable fact that King Nico and all of the original exposers of Witsit Vapegate were never wrong about that in any way at all. 2. Throw up multiple satanic hand signs. 3. Finally admit exactly what we have been saying all along. That Austin Witsit faked his breath with a vape. Of course, McKeegan will not say that this happened on the movie set created by Will Duffy and his Hollywood production crew. But we all already know that's what happened. To help out True Christian, please 1. Smash that like button. 2. Watch this video all the way to the end. 3. Share this video far and wide. 4. Please subscribe to True Christian if you haven't already. 5. Comment down below. Thank you, and God bless you. If you are a YouTube creator, then True Christian welcomes and encourages you please to feel free to mirror this video on your own channel with a link back to True Christian's channel. This way, everyone wins, and together we help God to spread the truth to even more people.
Hello everybody, hope you're doing well, and thanks for joining us for another video, which today we'll be tackling Vapegate.
Note, instead of citing King Nico, who was the first one in the world to expose Whitsid's Vapegate scandal, McKeegan instead cites Antichrist shill Eric Dubé, the same Dubé who stole King Nico's work without giving Nico any credit. McKeegan has commented on King Nico's channel before, so he definitely knows that Nico exposed Vapegate before anyone else. So why is McKeegan being immoral and giving false credit to Dubé? Is it because Nico is Christian, but Eric Dubé hates Jesus Christ our Lord? No matter the reason, Dave McKeegan is shameful for falsely and unjustly giving credit to Eric Dubé for stealing the work that, truthfully, King Nico created.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with all of this, recently a group of 9 of us, a mixture of people who think the Earth is flat and people who think it's a globe, went to Antarctica to view and record the 24-hour sun, which we successfully did. And while we were there, not only did we record a lot of footage, but we also did various live streams each as well. Now, immediately upon this footage being released, conspiracy theorists around the world began looking for any potential faults or inconsistencies that they could use to try and discredit the whole trip. Now, I was actually in the middle of putting together a big video that tackled numerous claims that have been made, like missing footprints, CGI studios, and Masonic boot rituals. However, this particular claim of Vapegate is blowing up to such an extent now, with flat earthers turning on each other, that I feel I need to address it as soon as possible. So, I was going to address it within the compilation video. I'm going to push that video back, and this video is just going to focus on Vapegate. Now, what is Vapegate, you might ask? Well,
Hold up. Let's watch that again.
Well, what
Dave McKeegan honors his daddy, Satan.
One comment that kept cropping up during people's live streams was the lack of visible breath, with conspiracy theorists arguing that this was somehow proof that we weren't outside in a cold environment, but instead we must be in a studio somewhere. Then, during Austin Whitsid's live stream, he'd already been asked a few times about breath and was then asked to pick up some snow. So he went back into the hut off camera to go and get his gloves. And when he came back onto camera, he then produced 2 visible breaths, which then stopped again. However, a few days later, I published a 25-minute, 360-degree time-lapse video that I'd shot on my Insta360. And people quickly checked the part of the time-lapse where Austin's stream was, and they begun claiming that Austin had faked his breath with a vape pen whilst walking back to the camera, and that was irrefutable proof that the whole trip was fake and the 24-hour sun results could be now deemed null and void. There was even a live debate between Austin and Flatzoid about the whole incident, with claims being made that Austin could be seen crouching down in front of the computer vaping before standing up and producing breath.
So True Christian has this video on his channel. You can go check it out. Thank you, brother, for sticking up for me. Yeah, it's whatever. I didn't care that the work was getting shared out there, but it is very suspicious how Eric Dubé did just rip off all the footage, make a post, and then disappear, right? So thank you for looking into that. So quickly now, we have someone else that's going to be joining us. Nachiketa is backstage, so if you're ready, I'm going to bring you on. Welcome to Resistance Headquarters.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
I'm hearing a little bit of an echo.
Oh, yeah.
Is it coming from me?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me turn that off. It's good now.
Okay. Well, pleasure to speak with you, King Nico, and thank you very much for bringing the Vapegate. I did first hear about it from your channel. Now,
Appreciate that.
I go ahead.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I to me anyway, like two things that I kind of want to talk about. One is the final experiment, and I had a couple interviews with Will Duffy, and of course the Vapegate situation as well. So more video has come out, like Will Duffy's videos and McKeegan's videos and McToon's videos. Really highlights like with detail that Whitsit did lie in regards to the vape. And like for me, and this is just my personal opinion, like had he said like later on, like, well, yeah, I vaped, I got frustrated, and people were asking me why they can't see my breath, and I just vape to show them to get them off my back. I would have been okay with that, but then he ended up doubling down and tripling down. And another exacerbating issue in regards to this is that yesterday over at Mark Sargent, basically they were saying that it is a nothing gate. You know what I mean? So they're continuously lying about the vape.
It's everything gate, not nothing gate. We spoke with Nemos. There's a whole list. There's like at least 20 gates now. There's way too many for something that was supposed to be an authentic, legitimate experiment.
Yeah, and I'm open to the idea that everything could have been faked. I think the thing for people to do is to go through everything, like make a list of all the things that people think that people, the TFE and what they lied about, and then actually go through how that could have been done. Now, like prior to the whole TFE, because like I have interviewed Will Duffy maybe about 7, 8 months ago, way before about 7 months ago, and then again for a couple hours, maybe about a month and a half ago, 2 months
Were you
ago.
so when you interviewed him all those months before the trip, were you suspicious of any deception or deceiving activity that would be taking place?
The first time I interviewed him, I did not suspect anything initially. But then there's a channel called Burn the Corporate Fiction. His name is Ryan. Him and his father, Sovereign Souls Unchained Minds, came out with this video called The Satanic Experiment. And they talked about Bob Enyart and Will Duffy and their connection. And afterwards, I started to go into Bob Enyart and Will Duffy quite a bit. And I will say that there are some very bizarre things happening with Bob Enyart and Will Duffy because they are operating out of the same church. Will Duffy is operating out of Denver from a church called Agape Kingdom Fellowship, but that used to be Denver Bible Church when Bob Enyart was the pastor. And Bob Enyart, after he passed away, Will Duffy took over that church. And basically, Will Duffy is a pro-lifer, and he is also a president of a pro-life organization out of Denver, Colorado, as well.
So wait, what's the timeline of the death of the previous pastor and then the when Duffy was took over?
So far as I know, I think it was during COVID time. Apparently, quote unquote, he died of the sea,
Okay,
and but he was anti V and anti jab. Let's just call it. I'm going to use code
thank you. Yeah.
anti jab and then against the mandates. But that's the irony. If you Google his name, they will say that he died of the sea when he was anti-jab and anti-mandate. So I think it was 2021-ish around there, if I remember correctly, when he passed away.
So that again, a lot of that could have been to scare people that were anti-jab and anti-V, was like, oh, I'm anti this, and then all of a sudden they die from the very thing that was going around, and then people are like, oh, he was wrong. You know what I mean? That could have been
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a very real possibility. I think that can't be, taken off the table to consider. But here's an interesting thing, because Bob Enyart did a radio program. There's like Bob Enyart Live and Bob Enyart Radio. And so one of the things that he was doing is he was collecting money from like, a GoFundMe type of thing to send a flat earther to space. And this was back in 2018 already, back in 2018. And Will Duffy was a producer
Oh,
for Bob Enyart.
wow. So the connections are there. Producing what? Just a YouTube channel of the sermons that he would preach in the church?
So far as I know, Bob Enyart did a live radio program. It was a nationally broadcast radio program, and he did some TV things as well. So I believe he was a producer. In my second interview, when I asked him about it, basically he became a producer for a while, and then he went into the whole financial thing for a while, where he lived in Puerto Rico.
Okay. So what's your stance on TFE now and the characters involved regarding a lot of the info that's come out, not just about the experiment and the discrepancies, but the people involved too, and who they associate with and what they've been on record saying in the past regarding Jesus, the Bible, Christianity, that kind of thing. So with all of that, you must have seen coming out, if you've been looking into it, like what kind of a picture is it painting?
Well, okay. Let me just throw a little disclaimer out there. I don't belong to any kind of religious organization myself. I believe in God. I know that God exists, and that's all I can really say about that. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But as far as all the characters that are who are involved, I try to understand Jaren's and Witz's position prior to going, and basically, I've had conversations with Jaren. I have tried to get a hold of Witsit to have a conversation with them. I have spoken to Lisbeth because I used to spend a lot of time over at Clubhouse. And I was actually surprised when she won the golden ticket because I was like, oh, I know that person because I spent time over at Clubhouse, over at Flat Earth Games channel. Now, as far as everybody's involved, now we understand that it's a false dichotomy, right? So that's the first and foremost thing, right?
Yes.
The TFE, whatever the sky is doing, we cannot understand what the ground is doing. I've been a flat earther for 10 years. That's the thing. Now, understanding Will Duffy and his position, I can't say that he's like a good guy or evil guy because I need to have more. I'm very suspicious about him and Bob Manyard. I'll just say that much. Okay. Now, as far as the characters who are involved, like Darren and Witsit, like if I see it in a good way, they were duped. They were kind of roped into a raw deal, and they thought that they were going to get something out of it. And then what happened next is that they probably got used. And I think one of the two, most likely Jaren, probably actually knew that he was going to see the quote unquote the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And my stance with Zetatic Warrior, we have said to our audience at least that that people will be seeing the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now, that being said, where is Antarctica? What is Antarctica? Those are things that we should all be questioning. I have no problems with people being suspicious that the whole thing is made up and fabricated. However, I am in the position that they did go to Antarctica, wherever that is, and they did see the 24-hour sun, right? But the
Yeah,
people who are involved are questionable.
exactly. And I mentioned that the trip could definitely have taken place, but the amount of organization that goes into it and permission to go there and all kinds of other anomalies that need to come together for anyone to travel close to that spot, because we all know there's an Antarctic treaty. That means there's worldwide military there, right? They're stationed
Oh yeah.
all over there. So the fact that we can't ever get pictures or visuals of that, even though there are other stations of supposed researchers and scientists that work there. But deeper into wherever this Antarctica is, the south, the ice wall, military is there. So yeah, they can go there. There's a Masonic lodge there. So if Antarctica is such a
Hmm.
desolate place, why is there a Masonic lodge there? So if Masons aren't important or anything to be threatened by, why does Antarctica have lodge number 777? So that's definitely something that needs to be brought into question. Is it only Masons allowed to travel there, or undercover Masons, people posing as truthers or YouTubers? Like even Mr. Beast got to go there. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, like, these organizations like ALE, and there's another one called White Desert. If you have enough money, you can go there. Obviously you have to spend $31,500, and you don't have to present yourself as a flat earther. You can be an undercover flat earther. And then there are people who claimed that they are flat earthers. Witsit came out and said that he knows a friend who admitted to him that he went to Antarctica, a number of years ago, and saw the 24-hour sun, but he just kept um, that information to himself. Now, I haven't been there, but I suspect that there is indeed a 24-hour sun somewhere out there, wherever that Antarctica space is. I also want to say that these organizations have to have permission from the government, right? They're considered POGOs, which is privately owned government operated. So they have to have the sanction of these governments. And we understand that the flat earth conspiracy is a worldwide conspiracy. A lot of governments are involved,
Yeah.
and it's worth trillions of dollars. Imagine how much they're spending for NASA, and other space programs. And if you add them all together, it's well over $100 billion per year.
Definitely. So you said you mentioned you were interviewing Jaren, so you spoke to him before the trip. Was there any ever inkling that if he did see this 24-hour sun that Duffy and the others said did exist, did he mention that he would have to leave flat Earth and go back to the globe, or did he say it doesn't really prove anything? Because last night he announced on Telegram that he's no longer a flat earther and he's done with the cult, as he puts it.
Yeah. So I want to make it clear that the conversations I have had with Jaren is not from an interview. I had a private conversation with him because I was looking into Will Duffy. So, I was doing kind of a report about like who he is and what he has been involved with, and Bob Enyart as well. A lot of bizarre stuff actually that's going on. So my conversation with Jaren was twice. We spoke for probably about 4.5 hours because I had a lot of questions about Will Duffy, and then I interviewed Rose 77 and then she brought Jaren over on my channel where we had a short conversation. But
Yeah.
following his work and basically understanding his position, because basically he and most everybody here probably knows is that he's been saying that if he sees the 24-hour sun at Antarctica, Earth cannot be flat. That's one of the things. And this has been played over at Bro Sanchez's channel. Zetetic Warrior had a conversation with Jaren. So and then he talks about the giant Home Depot and all this kind of stuff. So all those things have been talked about. So he knows what the sun is. He said, if you don't know what the sun is doing, then you're not a really good researcher. Everybody's retarded if you don't know what the sun is doing, right? But
Yeah.
my position is that we don't really know what the sun is. That's what my position is.
So now Jaren's been doing this for 10 years. He's been one of the lead flat earthers. A lot of people that are flat earthers woke up because of people like Jaren, Austin, Mark Sargent, Dave Weiss. So now he's gone and pretty much dropped this big nuke on the whole belief system, on his whole following that has been loyal to him and the flat earth. Do you feel like, well, first of all, is he someone that could be trusted to go somewhere and represent a whole community and to give this kind of information? And second of all, what do the followers do? What do flat earthers do now with this TFE, with these Jarens and Austins? What do you see happening next?
Oh my goodness. I don't trust Jaren whatsoever. I don't trust Witsit at all whatsoever. And I was really holding out because I try not to call people shills, because let's just say that word has been overused, and
So
somebody, if somebody doesn't like somebody, and then it's like, oh, that guy's a shill because I don't like him. I try not to do that myself, because it just kind of waters that word down. But I have to say they are genuine shills, and to me, these guys are all kind of rubbing shoulders with each other. And what I mean by that is that they have business deals with each other, and they promote each other, they go on each other's shows. So there is a kind of an idea of a flat Earth mafia. Okay, and it's a kind of maybe a tacit agreement. Maybe there's something more along the lines of like, conspiracy that's actually happening as well. I can't say because I'm not in the inner circle of these people, right?
Oh, wait,
But when
you
people,
said it feels like a flat Earth mafia. Did you say?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's it.
honestly the way you put that. It just resonates, right? Instantly you can see people like Dave Weiss and all these mafioso type, and even Mark Sargent. He comes off as very
Yeah,
innocent and gentle, but put a pinstripe suit on him, and he's the Godfather, right? So
yeah. Well, I'm
definitely,
not going to take credit for that, terminology. Zetetic Warrior came up with that, and then he said that these people are like, it's like a flat Earth mafia, and they really are. It was kind of a joke, but it was a joke, non-joke, actually. But the truth of the matter is that these people are doubling down. Like Whitsitt, for example, he could have just came out. He's like, yes, I vaped. And then I passed it off as breath, but he is swearing on the Bible. I made a video about this. He's swearing on the Bible, saying that this is objectively something that he did not do, but he's lying about that. Now the question then is like, why is it so important for him? Why is it so important for him to lie about it? Now, again, I'm in the position that they did go to Antarctica. I'm in the position that they did see the 24-hour sun, but the Vapegate, that still sticks as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Other stuff, I'm open. I'm open. If people came out with enough evidence and said, well, hey, look, this is CGI, this is, chroma key, this is, whatever, I'm
yeah.
okay with that. And then if it has been discovered that it's all been faked and there's simulation sun and people are coming out and then it's like, oh, yes, we lied about this. I'm like, oh, yep, it's all fake, but we have to get there.
So basically, him uh being a part of Vapegate, lying about Vapegate, that whole Vapegate thing, like that shouldn't really take away from this whole 24-hour sun thing, but the fact that they kept trying to lie and lie and lie kind of might feel like that they have other things to lie about, which is why they get caught up lying over little things. Do you think that's what this is a case of?
Well, I can kind of see a couple different strategies with it. It's a kind of like a rabbit hole, so people are talking about the vape gate and then it becomes like a more of a topic rather than the fallaciousness of the final experiment. And now, already these individuals are involved in hit pieces, right? Like, so Whitsitt and Jaron says, well, we have final cut, we have final edits, so they can't make these documentaries without our final approval. But the reality of the matter is the damage has already been done. The damage is Jaren's face plastered in various newspapers in different languages all over the world saying prominent flat earther went to Antarctica on Will Duffy, a pastor nonetheless, right, on his money and saw the 24-hour sun, which proves globe Earth. And under the agreement of the terms and conditions of the final experiment, if you see the 24-hour sun, the Earth must be a globe. And if you don't see the 24-hour sun, Earth must be flat. Now, we know that's fallacious. However, these people agreeing to go there on Will Duffy's dime, by that, by accepting that money, they have basically agreed to those terms and conditions. So if they say, this is something that I asked over at Vika's channel, when I spoke with Will Duffy several days ago, I asked him, so doesn't mean that they have to say that the Earth is a globe. And he said, no, people can be insane if they choose to be. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So if you are a flat earther, and even if you believe the 24-hour sun is a genuine phenomenon at Antarctica, you would be labeled as insane, according to Will Duffy.
So how do you see this going on? Do you think that they can just brush this under the rug and move on like nothing happened? Do you think us biblical cosmologists they're going to let it go and let them just think that, like, how do you see this going? Like I see and feel like a full-on civil war, not like physically but for information, because there's people trying to pass off lies as truth, and there's people that know what the truth is and know that what they're passing off is complete BS.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer a couple questions that people say, well, they don't believe in. I'm not asking people to believe in anything. Like, don't
Yeah.
believe in the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So, like I said, I'm open-minded, and if people are being skeptical and want to, go through every little detail to find every little fault about the TFE, great. I encourage people to go down that route, but we have to come to a conclusion at some point with enough details that yes, this is 100% fake. We have to get to that objective reality where it is it true or is it not true? basically. And then what is true about it? That's the thing. Just because Vapegate stands and then Winston did lie about it, doesn't mean that the TFE is or the 24-hour sun at Antarctica is falsified. It is not. They're separate issues per se. It is questionable that Whitsitt lied about it, and we have to try to understand why he did so and continue to go down that path and doubling down, tripling down regarding the Vape Gate. But then on the other hand, does it make the 24-hour sun at Antarctica not true? Now, there's several videos coming out. Will Duffy, McTunes, and you can say, well, they're globies. We don't really care about what they do. And then now Whitsitt and Jaren is also questionable in terms of their character. But then it's not about the personalities, right? It's more about the information that they, the videos that they have shared. So let's debunk the video is what I'm asking, right?
Exactly. So I feel like the community did a great job debunking and ripping apart the initial footage. I definitely feel like we gave them a checklist for post-production and what to fix up. So I definitely feel that whatever they release now is all these gates have weakened all the authenticity and
Yeah.
I feel like they might go on because they don't care. They know that whatever community they supposedly had a control over is very small. So they're going to go forward, make this documentary. It's going to be released on Netflix or whatever, on somewhere, and millions of people, if not a billion people, might see it. And this whole feud and civil war between the biblical earthers and the whole TFE being a hoax might not even be a blimp anymore. It might only be seen just by the community, right? So
Yeah. Let me just say, and I'll get going pretty soon, but like I will just add this, okay? As a person who is outside of Christianity, I see that there's three camps of Christianity. Within flat Earth, there's the people who believe the 24-hour sun actually happened. That's kind of more like the Witsitt's direction, and the people who are associated with him, they consider themselves Christians, and they're starting to accept the 24-hour sun to be a real thing. Now, of course, there's another group of Christians who don't believe that the 24-hour sun is possible, and so everything that they have done is a lie. And then, of course, there's a vast majority of people who are still under the illusion that we are living on a globe and all that stuff, and they still identify themselves as Christians as well.
wow.
So, this is a kind of a battle within this these different factions, you can say, but one of the things that I would just say to anybody, whether you're a Christian or not, if you're questioning whether or not there is a 24-hour sun at Antarctica, anybody can go to Antarctica. You can buy a ticket. You can do a GoFundMe. You can go, and then you don't have to advertise yourself as a flat earther. You and somebody else can go and do it again. Even this year, there's still tickets available at ALE for $24,000. You don't have to spend $30,000. You can spend $25,000 and go to Antarctica and see for yourself whether or not there is a 24-hour sun. So there are ways to verify that. So like we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to accept as proof that there is indeed 24-hour sun at various locations that we call Antarctica? So thank you very much for having me up here, King Nico, and it was great having this conversation. I think it's good to have another perspective on what's going on. So I appreciate you spending the time for doing this, and I hope we can come to a conclusion in regards to this flat Earth cosmology, because that's the thing, like the globers, they have one model that they're working off of. We know it's fallacious, we know it's fake, it's all made up and such, but one thing that they have in terms of strength is that they have that one commonality, right? Even though it's false, they all agree that it's a 25,000-mile circumference ball that is like wobbling and floating out in space with all these numbers and yada yada yada. The sun is 93 million miles away, the moon is 240,000 miles away. But us flat earthers, we're coming from different perspectives because we have anecdotal data. We're doing independent research. So we have to come to some objective reality in order to have cohesiveness that we are seeking. And not just because we're following some personality, because that's what we've been relying on all these top personalities like Dave Wise or Whitsitt or Jaron or Eric Dubay, and then we just have to follow them because they have the big numbers. But I think going in the route of objective reality is the best way for us to come to the same ballpark, right? And having that cohesiveness that we're looking for. So thank you again for your time,
Yeah.
and I wish you good luck.
thank you for coming and contributing some great information you have there. So I appreciate that, Nachiketa, and we'll talk again soon sometime. Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a good one. Take care.
Appreciate it. So I want to say thank you to Stoops the Cat with some super chats here. Strawman after Strawman, water is always level, and Fuxi Music. Thank you. Appreciate the super chats and pounds as well. The strongest currency there is. So God bless you. Thank you. Quickly, someone's waiting in the back here. We got Ceiling Fan Man. Brother, I can't believe you're here. It's great. So everyone, we've all been watching your video and having a great laugh because we need a good laugh with all the seriousness and arguing and back and forth that's been going on in these debates and questioning these guys. So thank you. And if anyone had the best trip to Antarctica, it was yours.
Wow. Thank you so much. First of all, it's a pleasure meeting you. I did not, isn't this wild? We can be in the same basic ideas and not know each other existed. I didn't know you existed either. And one of my fans sent me that you played my video, which thank you for that. And I heard you, and then you did it again today.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. But here's the thing. I can give you my breakdown if you like, because first of all, you can see the pillow back there. There's only one way out of this mess, and that's through Jesus. So the fact that you're on board with that and biblical, it's wonderful to meet someone that thinks that way. And the whole reason I say that is I woke up to whatever's going on in this world and realized I wasn't flying through space on a spinning ball. And it was like through the lies of NASA, like a lot of people. And what happens is you immediately get thrown into that group, the flat earth group. And as the longer I was in it, I realized a couple of things. There's no accidents, and that's you were put into that group because it's a controlled opposition. Because what's going on right now, it's a psyop within a psyop. I'll figure that. I'll let you know where I feel there.
Yeah.
But so I got thrown into that group, and I talked with a lot of those people. I went to their meetups and stuff. And I slowly came to this realization. That's why I left, is because they'll talk about flat earth to the ends of the earth, if there is any, but they refuse to go past that, you know? So once you've figured that out, you know, then what? And so they're hiding God. That's the whole thing. Exactly. Most of those top creators, that's what they call God, the creator. Jaron, obviously, everyone's heard his rant on what he thinks about Jesus, which is horrible. And so they're there to keep people trapped, like that Pink Floyd song, circling around the same old ground, you know, with the same old fears. You'll never go anywhere farther than that. And so that's why I got out of that group. Now, if you were to look in right now and you typed in things to disprove flat earth. Well, first of all, flat earth is a terrible name because people have been called retarded believing in flat earth forever.
Yeah.
It's
millennia.
Right? So it's another label to make us look really stupid to people that don't believe in this. And so once you get into that and you type in ways to disprove flat earth, guess who you get? You get the top, as they call themselves, legends. You get Bob Nodell doing a failed gyroscope experiment. You get Jaron doing a failed laser light experiment. They're on Netflix, of course. Yeah. How do you get on Netflix? and like he doesn't do an experiment in ahead of time. He does it live on air and goes, oh, wow, that's not what we expected. So the two main proofs to disprove flat earth are the two top producers, right, of flat earth. So then when they came out with this whole 24-hour sun, the thing on that is not everyone buys into that whole idea of that proves or disproves.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know weren't even talking about it until those people started talking about it, saying the final experiment, this will prove or disprove. So then as soon as I heard that, I said, you know what's going to happen? They're going to go there, and whatever side it is, they're going to prove flat earth is wrong again for the third time. So now, once again, this psyop isn't about us fighting with flat earthers and biblical earthers and all that. That's a side thing. I mean, that's enjoyable, I'm sure, on some level to them. But this is to keep new people from finding the truth, because they're going to look up flat earth and they're going to, oh, thanks. And they're going to immediately find people that they say are the leaders saying they don't believe in it anymore. You know what I mean? And if you needed more information on who these people are, they're on Roseanne. They're with Alex Jones. I mean, all the people, the deceivers, they told us to watch out for, and they're doing all the Freemason Masonic signs all the time. I'm very careful not to do it by accident, even because,
Exactly.
you know, but they have no problem doing it. And when they do it and they get caught, they go, "Oh, I was just goofing around." Well, that's what the satanic people say too when they put the sixes over their eyes.
So you
Right?
can see the same thing that I see and others see, is that these people that are put into these positions and performing these rituals or experiments or whatever it is, they're doing it with a full agenda to blaspheme God, to go against him. It's like a full-on rebellion. And once you see what the details are of all these operations and what everything is for, what even science was created for, was just to disprove God, disprove the Bible, and have an out, and give something for other else for people to follow instead of Jesus.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's a lot of people, that's a hard push when you start talking Jesus or anything about Christianity, the Bible. I watch my numbers on my live stream. I'll lose like 20 people right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I understand the idea behind it, but I'm preaching only because I didn't think like this just whatever, like 7 years ago or so. I was born and raised Jewish. And so I was taught not to read the Bible, not to believe in Jesus, any of that. So the fact that God used me to wake me up and flip over to this and realize that the Bible is true and Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. I mean, it's because of that, I think. And it helps me project that to, like, don't be afraid of looking into this. Because as whatever you want to call yourselves, I hate calling ourselves truthers, but whatever you want to call yourselves, I actually came up with this thing: critical listener, learners, and thinkers, but it spells out CLLT, and people thought it was didn't sound right. But whatever you want to call yourself, it's like we're supposed to look for these things. We're supposed to expose these things. We're supposed to keep doing our own research and finding truth. And if you do that, it eventually, oh, hey, 60, he's the reason I even know you about you. He sent me the video. So yeah, he's great. And but it's like, the whole reason they want us not to do that is to keep finding the ultimate truth, because flat earth is not the ultimate truth. Like, you can take it one step farther. Okay, they lied to you about flat earth and the resources. Why? Like, they stop there. They really don't. It's all about money and stuff. It's not. They can print all the money they want. It doesn't matter. It's not about power. They have the power. They have this agenda to hide God.
Yes. And that's what they always put money as, like, oh, it's too expensive to even perform such a thing. And once you realize money is not an issue, they can just print it and whatever, whenever they want, then you know that, wow, they can for sure build a giant screen domed studio in Antarctica and have it taken down as soon as they're done the filming, right? So people need to know that when money is not an issue and they have something as big as the job and the mission that they're trying to do is hide God, then it starts to make sense. It starts to clue into people, and that's what we need to help people realize, is that yes, there is a whole society of people, whether it's the Masons or the Jays, like, they're out there against God, and they don't want you to know that he's real.
Correct. And so that's the other thing. It's like, once again, whatever's going on between the flat earth community, the biblical, or whatever you want to call it, all the discussions on why, is this fake? Is that fake? It's, to me, just like NASA. Like, everything in this world runs by our consent. Everyone agrees that we have free will, but we can give it away by giving up our consent. So when we watch NASA and we see that they're messing up, and we can show people that they've messed up, but people still go ahead and believe in space, that's kind of the same idea. I totally believe that they on purpose most likely did some of these mess ups and doubled down and all that. The fact that he didn't realize it was going to show up as the green screen there, and then also on the scale, I don't know if you saw that when it showed up there too, the green screen. And then,
yes.
Right? And the shadows, they knew we were going to pick this stuff apart. And then when he gets caught vaping and they completely lies about it and doubles down and lies again. And then it's like, I was listening to JT follows JC. He's like, it's like the dog ate my homework, because then he goes, well, I don't know how it got there. Like, you didn't check your bags before you go to Antarctica, of all places. I would think they're pretty strict there. Apparently not. And he didn't know it was in there, and it was old, and still it was charged. Like, he didn't say he charged it. And he said he didn't vape anymore, but he just decided to. Like none of it's making sense.
Yeah.
It's
And it
like,
happened at the 33rd minute of his live too. So was it done purposely? Was it accidentally? Are they purposely sending us on this wild goose chase and detective game? Like what's going on? Like,
well, again, if you
same
take it
thing.
outside of this the group, because the majority of the world, whatever you call it, Earth, the majority of the people, they don't believe in flat Earth of any kind, biblical or flat. They still think they're flying through space. So it was made for them because now when they look into it or they look at the video that's coming out maybe on Netflix, they're going to see once again flat earthers are stupid. They try to prove themselves and they prove themselves wrong every time. So whether or not we fight about it, to me it was just done that way because then now we fight about it. So now when people go, oh look, they hate losing so much, now they're pretending that none of this was real and they're fighting amongst themselves. That's how much. So I think to me this entire thing is for people that don't believe in any of this. It's to keep them from finding out. And they did it well because it's going to come out. It's already started in the mainstream about how the flat earthers messed up again and proved themselves stupid.
Exactly. And I feel like with the video I showed yesterday with Mr. Beast and his huge following, which is obviously like the youth, right? So they're keeping them brainwashed with his videos in supposed Antarctica, and then we get the TFE crew that's pretty much was aimed at the flat earth movement and anyone looking into it to completely try and deter people from that. So we caught on pretty quick, and it's all playing out. And it's good that we've caught on, and again, we don't know exactly the plan they were trying to get because like you said, some of the stuff was just is too weak for this kind of psyop to be left in the open like that, such as the green screen chroma key. So like I told Mark Sargent this morning, NASA makes the same mistakes too, and they have unlimited funding. So is that purposely done? Are they deceiving but leaving gaps because they have to? Like,
Yeah,
is that
that's
part
the
of
way I
the
see it.
rules? You know what I mean? So they have to show you and tell you who they are and what they're doing, and that's how they do it, I guess, with these little subliminal messages or these little inconsistencies and errors. Like watching you can see the NASA astronauts when they're floating around, they're in a harness and you can see
Yeah.
the belt dragging them along. So yeah, same
Yeah,
thing.
I truly believe that this is a controlled opposition here, and their whole purpose was, like I said, not even for us. It was for people that don't believe in this, so they'll see the Netflix show or whatever, or the headlines in the paper, and that's it. It'll solidify it. They don't have to listen to anybody saying, "Well, this was fake. This is fake." They don't care at that point. People just read the headlines and move on. And so this was, I mean, they hold their meetings a lot of times at Freemason and Masonic halls and Shriners and stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, it's like they taught us to look for these things, and then when they do it, we're supposed to go, oh, but he's a great guy. He taught me about this. He taught me about that.
Yeah.
I get that. Some of these people are the same people that helped me figure out I don't live where I live. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I have to follow them the rest of my life when I realize they're going a different path.
That's part of the trick, is to give you something as valuable as truth, where people like that kind of truth is huge, where most people will be loyal to that person forever, and that's how they feel they have this grip on the community, is that because they woke up most of the people, that these people will be loyal to them and follow them through the flat earth to Antarctica, back to the globe. And no, we're here to say no, that's not how it works. Just because you were positioned in that place and posed as the gatekeeper or the top flat earth person, and no, it doesn't work that way. So we're breaking it all apart, tearing it, we're dividing this movement into what it should be divided into: the shills on one side and the deceivers on one side, and then the truthers, the real truthers, the ones that have been hidden all these years, because a lot of people still don't even know who I am. So I'm like, wow,
Yeah, I just found you.
yeah, buried in the bottom of the censorship pile. So
I'm actually below you in that pile, I think.
I'm going to make sure if I'm getting out, I'm bringing you all with me, and we're bringing those lost polar bears too.
Yeah. I put that together in like an hour. I don't know. And I don't know. People keep saying I should do more. Maybe I'll do another live stream from Antarctica. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Everyone comment. Does Ceiling Fan Man need to do a part 2 of the trip?
No.
Or where is he going next, right? Is he still in Antarctica? So
Some people suggested the ISS. I could try that out, I guess. But
that would be
that's
cool.
even more. See, the thing is look at this. The stupid video that I put out, and God bless you for playing it. And I put it together in like an hour. I literally, the screen that's behind me, I had to put it so close to the desk, I couldn't really move more than side to side. So in the beginning, when I'm walking up, I'm basically doing that thing where you just like start standing up.
Yeah, it added to the humor of it. It was like fun, so
but I'm
funny
just-
start to finish.
I'm just saying the fact that I was able to put that together with like zero budget and talent and whatever. Think of what you can do if you have one of those, say, Amazon Studio stages or whatever, some giant stage and the money behind it. Absolutely. So, oh, thanks. Joyce says I was hilarious.
Yeah, we love you here and your video. It's been great. We've been so serious for a couple of weeks going through this, and that video just changed everything. So it was amazing.
Well, here's the way I looked at it. So it was all blowing up. What are we going to do? I'm going to argue one side or the other. Everyone was already doing that. So the next stage is what? Parody. So that's where I went with it, because that's how my show is. I do a mix. I do jokes and stuff, and then throw a little Jesus in there. So a little medicine with the sweetness, and we have a good time.
Nice. Yes, everyone has their own way of bringing the truth. You're doing it with your comedy, which is great. So it's very entertaining.
Well, I'll have you on if you ever want to come on sometime.
For sure. We can talk. We'll stay in touch. Excuse me. And yeah.
You have an email or something, I'm assuming, on your channel. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, of course. It's there scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay, great. I'll write that down in a second. So yeah, my plug is it's Friday nights at 6:00 West Coast. And I've been doing it for, oh my gosh, 3-4 years, every Friday, except I missed a few, but yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I was so happy to find someone else that believes in a biblical earth and is not putting up with the lies.
No, thank you. So we're definitely going to stay in touch. We'll be talking a lot more. Yeah, biblical earth is here to stay. It never went anywhere. They're trying to hide it, like you said, and we're here to say no. God's creations will not be hidden. The Bible, the word, will not be mocked and tried to be contradicted, which is impossible. So yeah, it's going to be good. And we need you, because sometimes it can get very stressful, but then we need people like you to take that all away with one of your videos. And that's how, everyone has a part in this. So thank you so much, Ceiling Fan Man.
Thank you. And I have other videos kind of like that goofiness. If you're interested, anybody in the chat, you can go check them out. But anyways, thank you again for having me. Thanks for playing that video. And
no, you're welcome.
Looking forward to talking to you again.
All right. Take care, brother.
You too. God bless.
All right. So Ceiling Fan Man, awesome to have him on. Thank you for stopping by and sharing some light with us, brother. So quickly, I see a couple of people waiting. Brother Sanchez is back. Definitely want to see what he's got to say. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you so much. I'll be quick since you got other people waiting. I was listening in to the show, and I hear a lot of things that concern me. Is very concerning. I believe that the final experiment is going to succeed at completely dismantling the flat earth community if we don't pay attention to these couple of things. A brother got on and he mentioned that we ain't cohesive. He said that we all as flat earthers need to come together on some type of agreement with the sun or whatever, because the globalists all have one model they agree on. That's false. Some globalists believe in a pear shape. Some globalists believe in an oblate spheroid. Some globalists believe in a perfect sphere. And then if you look at different pictures of Earth from different countries, they all got their own. It's not consistent. Everybody's Earth look different. Flat earthers are the most cohesive when it comes to consistency, because every flat earther in the world agree on one thing: the earth is flat. That can't be said true about the globe side. I think that we're beating ourselves up too much And I think that because the world is laughing at us and, you know, bullying us with hit pieces and all that, that we don't want to go with titles like flat earther, truther. We want to abandon those because now it's like we're scared to be called what we are. If they are a globe earther and we're opposing them, that makes you a flat earther. If they are a liar, that makes you a truther.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stand firm, and I'm not going to care about the ridicule and all that. I see a lot of us really kind of giving up in a way, if you ask me. I also will say this. I see a lot of flat earthers that saying they're not getting views, they're being censored. I'm being censored too. But you know why? You know why why my channel is big? And here's what a lot of flat earthers don't do. They don't go out of our echo chamber. See, and I hate to bring race in it, but King Nico, I found out there was nobody teaching flat earth to Black people. So when I started teaching flat earth to Black people, I blew up because I started teaching them about stuff no one else was showing in the community, like Nut and Geb, these different ancient cosmologies. But one thing I'll say, when it comes to the globe earth, everyone around the world, no matter what country you in, for the most part, they believe they on a globe. They are Muslims, they are Buddhists, they are Christians.
Yeah.
They come from all walks of life. But when you look at the flat earth community, the Christian flat earthers are evangelizing and trying to push Christ on people. And that's what I'm saying about why your channel's not growing. When you look at a channel like Eric Dubé is growing because he don't alienate any religious groups. If flat earth is the truth and the truth will set us free, then all we got to do is give people the truth. We don't got to give them our religious ideologies. Because if our religion, think about this, right? If a person say, well, I think the earth is flat, but I'm a Muslim, it shouldn't turn into a Muslim flat earther debating a Christian flat earther on which God is right, the Bible versus the Quran, when the Quran and the Bible both got flat earth truth in it. All religions and spiritual systems agree that the earth is flat. And all globalists, no matter their religion, agree that the earth is a globe. So flat earthers we can't divide based on religious ideologies because the globe earthers ain't doing that. They got globe earthers of all walks of life coming together against flat earth. So I'm just saying, for my Christian flat earth brothers, I love biblical flat earth. I'm from the Bible Belt, and I got a video coming up on my channel where I'm going to go against Pastor Duffy and prove that he's, you know, corrupting the Bible, and I'm going to defend the biblical cosmology. But what I'm saying, sometimes I think in the flat earth community, and, you know, when Rob Skiba was alive, me and him kind of had a back and forth, you know, rest in peace. I actually miss Rob Skiba now. I really miss him now because he was a real one looking at it now when I think about what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? But if he was alive, I would apologize to that man, you know, to see that he turned out to be a real one and after all this happened. But I just want to say to my Christian brothers and sisters, we must unite under the truth, which is the earth is flat. There are other religious groups with other books other than the Bible, and their religious books talk about a flat earth too. We don't want to debate them about their religion and their God if they are good people. If they are,
do they all talk about the firmament too? So we all agree that the earth is flat, but does everyone agree there's a firmament that covers the flat earth, the dome, the rakia, the expanse?
I got a whole video coming up just on the fact that we're enclosed and the firmament dome, proving it from the Bible. And the Quran talks about the firmament dome. Nico, all around the world, everyone worldwide knew the truth about flat earth. It wasn't just Christians who knew the truth. All people knew the truth.
All civilizations and cultures.
Right. And they all wrote it in their spiritual systems. And that truth will connect all these spiritual systems together. And see, Nico, this is what the New World Order is doing with the globe earth. They bringing all their religions together with the lie. We got to bring all ours together with the truth, Nico, or we don't stand a chance. We don't stand a chance, Nico. That's all I want to say. We might want to think about that. We need every faith, every spiritual, every nation that's saying the earth is flat, they on our team.
Yeah,
and if they
I know what you're getting at, and I agree with you. So again, I am not a religious Christian. I'm not a church-going Christian or a Christmas pagan worshiping Christian. I'm just a born-again Christian that trusts in the Bible and Jesus Christ without a pastor, without a pope, without any of that stuff, right? So I separate that. And it's true. I've tried to unite Christians and Muslims over here and Hindus and stuff, and you know, because I can see that we're not, you know, I see past all that race, color, and culture business. So I've tried, but while I was trying, like the week later, there was the war began with the two countries that are currently constantly protesting each other now. So the distractions keep coming in to keep us divided, but you're very right with that.
And that's what I'm saying, because I got Muslims, I got Moorish people, I got so many different people that follow my stuff on the flat earth. And they all are come from different flat earth walks of life. And they will come up on the panels together during a lot of shows. And what everybody will unite under is flat earth. You will have Muslims, Christians, different people. And occasionally the faiths will clash. They'll debate about the religions and stuff. But that's what I don't like, though. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I think that is so much we, you know, got to do against NASA, against the whole globe earth concept, that, you know, me personally, I subscribe to being Christ-like. But there are people that follow me who are Muslims, different walks of life. And I don't think I probably would try to debate them on accepting Christ over their deity if they're living better than me. Because they may say, well, Sanchez, I'm actually a better person than you with Allah, and you got Christ, and you ain't more righteous than me. So at the end of the day, if a person is a good person, then I'm gonna ride with them on that, the content of their character. That's all I wanted to point out. And the reason this is important, because you will have a lot of Christians that'll call you shills and all of that. You just had some people on the show, Nico, that said they're trying to get away from the shield word because people just throw it around and it loses power. You know, and that's what happens a lot with the Christian flat earthers. They don't call you a shield because, like, Jaron is a shield. He's saying the earth is a ball. You can have a brother that's fighting on their side that the earth is flat, and he ain't a shield. He's dying with them with the flat earth, and they will call him a shield because he said he's not a Christian, or if he say he's a Muslim. I subscribe to biblical flat earth, but I do see a lot of division from the Christian flat earthers, and it's been that way a while. And I wish that, you know, it didn't have to be that way, that they didn't have to be, you know, so aggressive with the Bible thumping. If a brother next to you fighting in arms with you, and he's going against NASA and the world powers with you, and he's a good person, he don't have to subscribe to the same religious or faith or ideology you subscribe to, in my opinion. Maybe that's another show we need to have. But
yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna get out of here on that.
Definitely. So flat earth is not just solely for Christians and biblical cosmologists. We need to, it's just the truth, right? So again, we got our work cut out. We do need to move fast because take care, Brother Sanchez just signed off. Again, thank you for coming in and giving us some more info and things to discuss. So we're definitely looking into everything. So, and we got one more person that's been patient here. I'm gonna bring you on, Vara. So welcome to the channel. How's everything going?
Salute, Nico. And
Salute
shout out
you.
to Bro Sanchez, one of the greatest teachers out there. Yeah, man. I found you like everybody else with the Vapegate video, and like the most interesting to me wasn't even about Vapegate. It was about McToon, like your moment there with the, what do you say, lemon lavender or something like that?
Yeah, so I'm a decoder. For some reason, I've always just been good with numbers and can resonate when people say things. You can hear that they're saying it for a reason and code it. So that's how I started looking into gematria like 5 years ago now, and I've been working with some of the best decoders in the world. And for sure, you can see in the MC Tune video, he's talking and the way he's describing things, it was very Masonic. I've done a lot of research into Masons and people that worship Satan, and that's exactly how they act and speak. And the first thing I noticed was that it was abnormal to say flavors as lemon and lavender. So
Yeah.
that was like, who talks like that? Then I noticed that they both start with the letter L, which is a coded 33. And then he started to just expose that he is a master mason, right? And then I quickly put it in the gematria, and lemon lavender equals 666. So
Wow,
you thought
it's
that was
amazing you caught that, like, and
yeah.
then it just it's like, you've seen those videos where it's like MK Ultra, they're under that programming,
Yeah.
and they hear a click or a trigger word or something like that, and they just go like that. It's
Exactly.
something like that happened with McToon. Like he couldn't help himself, then he just started doing.
Exactly, and that's what we got to do. That's why I said keep the pressure on. We will catch them in mistake,
Oh
right?
wow.
They don't have anything on us. So the more they keep trying to lie and explain their way out of things, we'll catch them. And then when they can't get out of it, they'll just go into this mode like what MC Tune did. And it's like, who does that? If someone's calling you out for throwing up a 33, you're going to be like, no, I didn't do that. Instead, he went and started drawing it out. He started off with a blue 3, and then he drew a red 3. So there's your red large, your blue large, and combined red and blue is purple, right?
Yeah, then I noticed, I told you, like, I saw Austin with a red sweater on. Now he's wearing a blue sweater.
Exactly. And we call Austin with the red and blue. Quickly, I see Drunk Debunk is here. So he's got some quickly. So Drunk Debunk is in the chats. He's just quickly promoting his new merch. It's his 33 brick merch. It's coming out next week. So here's his post I had saved. He's like, become a Freemason and don't forget your brick background. So exactly, when they get caught and exposed, they run with it, right?
It's amazing, man. Like all the moles coming out of the holes. They're exposing themselves.
Did you see the start of the video with Austin denying Jesus?
No.
We play that. So like you said, you explained, brother, you says that when you catch them in the act and off guard, they have that MK Ultra freeze where they're like but then they function, right? So Jesus in this situation was the key word. So let's watch it together. I need to change the sound quickly, so don't say anything because it will echo. So let's just play this.
And then I vaped because you said you denied vaping. What's it?
What? You see what he does, and you think that this is going to go unpunished by a creator? That's what you think? That's what you think, bro?
You don't even pray to the creator, dude. You don't pray to
Don't
God.
pray to the creator.
You pray to Jesus.
No, I pray in the name of Yeshua. Hey,
I rest my case. So in other words,
yeah, he rests his case. Thank you for that, Flatzoid. I'm going to be clipping that and making sure that lives forever on the internet. So you saw him. He stuttered. So the way Flatzoid says, do you pray to Jesus? And he was like, no, I don't. I pray to some other name, right? So again.
Well, that's his real name, isn't it? Yeshua.
Well, people, the name thing, I don't want to get into the name game because we don't know, right? I've said the name Yeshua before, but the fact that Jesus is a name that's still attacked today, and it's like not many people use Yeshua, so it is Jesus that's mocked and ridiculed in mainstream. So it's obviously a powerful name, and I'll stick with the name Jesus.
I know it is a powerful name. Like I literally performed a miracle myself in the name of Yeshua. I put my hands in the sky. I made a cloud move. True story, man.
God bless, man. So yeah, we're in the end days. Lots of things are going to be happening. We need Christians to unite and get on board and to stand against the wiles of the devil. So everyone needs to submit to Jesus Christ, put on the full armor of God. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, against principalities, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Right? So that's what they are.
And I just want to say, like, that was a good point by the previous guest before Sanchez came back on. Like, he said, flat Earth is a bad name. And I thought that's true because, like, when you say Earth, most people would think of like a planet, right? Like that's like the definition for the word. I just looked it up. Earth defined as the planet on which we live, the world.
Yeah. So Vara, so quickly, because I'm going to be ending in 5 minutes time. So what do you
man,
feel?
it was nice. It was fun to come say hi, and I'm done with the TFE thing. Personally, like, I'm done with the drama, and I don't really care if it was faked or not, because there's observations of the sun. Like, everybody has their own kind of thing, you know. It's a lot of interesting things still to go through with the flat Earth thing, and I'm just glad that all the real people are coming together. And
yeah, so
yeah,
I will be here standing firm with the truth, with the Holy Bible, making sure that Bible prophecies aren't being tampered with. So I appreciate you coming on and saying hello and welcome to the war.
no, thank you, man. Doing a good job.
Thank
Take
you.
care, man.
God bless, Farah. Take care. Awesome. So what a night it's been. We really are at a war right now within the movement, for truth, for the Bible, for Jesus. We've gone up against some of the biggest deceivers in the business and exposed them. Tonight was great, and none of this was planned, by the way. So I'm pretty happy with the way everything has transpired this evening. It was open tonight, so I did share the link. Anyone could have jumped in and joined, and I'm happy that those that did jump in were the people that did. So appreciate Dustin, Brother Sanchez, Nachiketa, Ceiling Fan Man, and our last guest jumped in to say hi with Vara. So if anyone else has got anything else to say or want to jump in as we end off this first part of Civil War, Flat Earth, we're not going to let them gaslight us and try and claim nothing gate when this is everything gate. So I hope everyone's been enjoying everything that's been coming out from all sides, both sides. Everyone is paying attention. They're realizing there's something going on, that there's ploys, there's all kinds of deception that's falling in line with Revelations, with Antichrist, with all these leaders stepping down or getting inaugurated. So again, thank you. So to Crevo says, thank you, brother Nico. Quickly, yeah. So I'm remembering some of the comments. So again, I had a lot of different people on today. I seen the comments. Someone wanted me to bring up one of the videos. I think it was MC Toon posted one today. Well, everyone's been posting these videos of 360s. So I want to show you what I kind of saw in one of the 360s. Where is it? Or is it McKeegan? Dave, give me a second, everyone. Let me find the video. I just seen something very strange in one of the 360s. That videos, Flat Earth, Game Over, Solar. Someone says so Lacey says we're in Revelation 20. Holly says, this is so great that we came together to expose lies, but also to rally around the truth about our Creator and Savior. This gives me hope back for humans. Thank you, Holly. Just give me a sec. I'm just trying to find one of these 360 videos that was just posted. Oh, 3 weeks ago. No. Not that one, because that one is all spliced up. Is it? Maybe it's Witsit posted it. Yeah, I think it was Witsit's video. 24-hour sun. Let's see. So when you put on this 360 video and you kind of scan up, and it's kind of hard to do it on the computer here now. It's better when you use your phone and then you can actually just look up. But you'll see like a circle kind of thing. It just seems like what there's the sky above them is within a dome. So it's not showing up too clearly on the screen, but check the 360 video for yourself and tell me if you see the same kind of sky looking like a circle. Like we can go outside right now and look up in the sky and it just everything looks the way it looks open, right? It doesn't look like it's closing in on you. So whatever this is, the sky is right above them on screen or something, and I was able to see some kind of just some curving around directly above them. So quickly, let me just go through what I had up here. So we've gone over that. Jaren has left the flat Earth. All the gatekeepers are banding together and calling it Nothing Gate. So they're trying to get away with whatever this operation was. We went over the final blow. We've caught Austin denouncing the name Jesus. I need to play this quickly because everything, again, the timing and all this nonsense is like so distraction after distraction. And I don't know whether to take this seriously or not. This whole Trump thing, like this one video alone just seems like it's just a joke. Like this guy even considers Trump said he's going to take over Canada and make Wayne Gretzky prime minister or governor. So I don't know if that's a joke or not, but let's quickly play this video before we end this live.
It's a shocking statement. President-elect Donald Trump says he's considering using economic force to annex Canada and make it part of the U.S.
You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like. And it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. Why are we supporting a country, 200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal. All of these other things, they should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down, I said, what would happen if we didn't do it? He said Canada would dissolve.
Trump said the U.S. should stop buying cars, lumber, and dairy from Canada, part of long-standing free trade agreements, again urging his friend, a former Canadian hockey player, to run politically.
The great one, Wayne Gretzky, I said, run for prime minister, you'll win it'll take 2 seconds. But he said, well, am I going to run for prime minister or governor? You tell me. I said, I don't know. Let's make it governor. I like it better.
Canada's prime minister.
Wow. So Canada, or 51st state, Canada, get ready for Governor Gretzky. So yeah, this is some clown stuff going on here for the ushering in of the New World Order. There will be a one world leader and a one world government. And yeah, we're uncovering everything that's trying to break apart the belief system in the Bible. I'm a strong believer in the Bible. I trust in Jesus Christ, and everything that's happening around me is an attack on all of that. So we will be pushing and pressing like we've never pressed before. Christians are rising up daily now. We just shared Steve's video and how he says the importance of flat earth now regarding the next PSYOP, the drone invasion, the UFO invasion. So it's time to start hearing us out. It's not time. We're calling out all the lukewarms too. It's not a time to be like, oh, I'm just going to trust in trust in Jesus. I don't need to believe or understand anything. We're in the end time. So again, it's been an incredible live. I'm going to end it now. My dog's been crying for a bit, needs to go out. So appreciate all the super chats, everyone chiming in from start to finish. We will be back with loads more. So again, any information regarding blaspheming Jesus' name by any of these gatekeepers, let me know so we can compile it all together and have it there and let people know who we're dealing with. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. I love you all, and I'll see you all soon.